It's a thing.
It's
So.
conversation shut down.
It's a thing.
All right. So which one are we doing? We doing Memento?
Let's do Memento.
Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome once again to Ending the Academy. I'm gonna do the little baby clap, and then I'm gonna giggle uncontrollably because it always makes me laugh.
And he's right.
I don't know why, but every time. All right, we are here to talk about our top 10. My top 10.
You're Darryl and Laura.
Oh, right. Yeah, hi, I'm Darryl and she's Laura.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm in a hoodie today because, you know, it's, as the filming of this, it snowed again, and it shouldn't have. So, fuck snow. Snow. We are here today to talk about Memento, Christopher Nolan's second film. His first was called Following. I don't know if you ever saw it.
I've never seen it. No.
This was directed by Christopher Nolan, based on the short story Memento Mori by his brother, Jonathan Nolan. They write together all the time. And that story was published in 2001. Stars Guy Pearce, Carrie-Anne Moss, and Joe Pantoliano. Was nominated for a ton of awards, no Academy Awards.
Mm-hmm.
But virtually every film festival when this film came out had its either as, you know, best writing, best director, best film. Guy Pearce was nominated a couple times. Like, this was a celebrated film when it came out, which was good because it's super low budget. The critics, however, did not get this movie at all.
That's funny. I thought it actually did well. In my memory, it did well, no?
A lot of the critics that I saw when I was going back and doing the research for there, some put it on their best of list, but a lot of them were like, no, this is pretension. It's like, it's a filmmaker going too far. Like all of the criticism you would expect from this kind of film.
Okay.
So let's talk about what kind of film this is. This is 100% my jam.
Okay.
This is a film that is daring. It's also incredibly clever, which a lot of times when things are clever, they are not pulled off. It's a great concept. They're clever, but then they go over the top or they under-deliver, so clever is not always a good thing.
True.
In this case, for me, this is so incredibly clever and 100% works. It's also the start of Christopher Nolan playing with time.
Mm-hmm.
Every movie he has ever made has always played with time in some sense. And this one is 100% that.
Absolutely.
This is a film also that absolutely bears repeat watchings. If you do not know what is going on in this film and you just go into it blind, you are going to struggle getting through this film. And I acknowledge that 100%. But one of the reasons that I like it so much is because it does stand up, not for comfort, but the more you watch it, the more you realize how incredibly rich and layered and well crafted this film actually is. I've seen it easily 20 times.
I think it's a perfectly constructed movie. Yeah.
I can tell already you got some issues. But yes, so this is the kind of film that is absolutely my jam, the kind that you could go back and watch and get something new from, go back and watch and get something new from. I like the structure of this film, and I always forget, like, until I go and watch it, which way is which. Is color the forward and black and white is reversed? Which way does it actually go? And I always have to remember for a quick second. But I also like the fact that he does that so you can understand what is actually happening. So one is in color, one is in black and white, and so you can see, oh, if it's black and white, it means it's actually in the past moving forward, whereas color
That's helpful. That's really helpful, yeah.
Also, just as we're talking about it, the color scenes in particular, as it's telling the story in reverse, they always end with like 5 or 10 seconds of the next one. So that it's very easy so you don't miss anything. In fact, it's a repeat for 5 or 10 seconds to help ground you again, which is crucial and very, very helpful. Because again, this is not an easy movie to watch. It really isn't. You're going to get lost if you've never seen it before. I'm going to start there, turn it over to you for a second, and then we'll keep talking.
Okay, so I have seen this movie a couple of times.
Okay.
I saw it when it first came out. I saw it again, this past week or so. I like this movie. I like it very much. I like the way it's constructed. It is so clever. There are so many things in here are clever. It's not my jam. That's the only piece of it. And Christopher Nolan, for the most part, is not my jam.
Really?
So yeah, like Inception.
It's
and
what you
that kind of stuff.
appreciate, but not.
Exactly.
Okay.
I fully appreciate it. I appreciate the craft of it. I love Guy Pearce. I actually watched him back on Australian soap operas in the 80s.
Really?
Like, I've really liked Guy Pearce for a really long time.
Okay.
Carrie-Anne Moss, I forget how much I like her until I see her. And like this film, she's phenomenal in. So I liked both of them, and it's just the way everything unwinds. And I remember coming to near the end when they kind of give the resolution around his wife and what happened. And I remember gasping at the time, and it doesn't lose its power even years and years later when I'm watching it for a second time. So it is appreciated. It is a beautifully made movie. I really do like it.
The thing that always kind of gets me, and I forget it every time I go to rewatch it again, is that the opening scene is so incredibly impactful and also so vastly different than the rest of the film, because it's in color, but it's in reverse, and it's also the end of the film.
Is that when he's shaking the Polaroid? Yeah.
Yeah, when he's like it starts with like the gun coming back in out of the head, and that's also the end. So I love that is the beginning, and then the rest of it's just a straight up murder mystery. Like, why did this guy die? Why was he killed? What's going on? And you slowly get the information as it peters out. And it is very, very well crafted, moment to moment, beat to beat. You get the exact information. One of my favorite things, and this is just an absolute testament to the writing, is it consistently plays with how memory works and how unreliable memory actually is. And it doesn't go over the top, it's just constantly a question. He tattoos himself because he has no memory, so he can try to remember things. But even those, the tattoos, because they are tattoos, he can't like write a novel with a full explanation. They're quick sentences that he has to be able to figure out.
And he interprets them differently at different times as well. And the way that the people in his life are messing with him too, and messing with what he has. The Carrie-Anne Moss reveal of how she actually got beat up, that was fantastic.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Like, because he has his condition and he's constantly talking about his condition to everybody, but he can't remember who he's told, so he tells everybody all the time. The people that are constantly coming back into his life, the central characters that we get, Carrie-Anne Moss, Joe Pantoliano, they play with that because they know they can screw with him because he won't remember. And all it takes is a momentary distraction for that memory to go away that he now has to rebuild. The Carrie-Anne Moss scene is brilliant. He beats her up. And then all it just takes, she goes, sits in her car, waits for a second, comes back, and then is like, to manipulate him to do something that she wants, she completely fabricates it, and he has no concept, or he has no other ability except to believe what she's saying, because his pictures and his tattoos are telling him to believe her, that she is a friend. I love how they play with that, and it is so incredibly well crafted. I just can't speak enough about the writing of this. There's not a moment that is not designed for something. Every moment is to give you information or to purposely play against that information.
And it messes with the audience a lot.
I love that. That's basically really all I have for this is how, we can go through the nuances of it, we can go through the performances of it, all of that is fine, because nobody is amazing, but everybody is top notch.
Well, but everybody's real.
Yes.
They don't have to be amazing because they're just real. They're just people trying to get through their lives.
Yes.
And none of them are, except for maybe his wife, none of them are perfect.
No.
They are just all messed up trying to get through. Because even him, he is not a good guy.
No.
He is not a good guy.
Turns out he's not a good guy.
Not only is he, at the beginning you think he's just out for revenge and he's going to kill somebody for revenge, that's bad, but you understand why. And then you're like, oh no, he's setting this guy up to kill him and to make him think that it's going to be okay. Why? And wow, that's a mind blower when that happens.
Again, it all goes back to how well And this is an example of when I say write another draft. You write another draft to get to
You
this
come up
level.
to this,
Yes.
exactly, yeah.
You can have something so incredibly well crafted that you can be questioning the entire time and rely that the information is going to be given to you.
Yeah.
You may have missed something along the way, so you may have to go back and pick up something later on, which I've done multiple times.
Yep.
But all the information is there being told to you in different formats. You have everything you need to figure out what this story is before you get to the end, even though the end is a reveal. You have it all. It's all there. It's just you don't know what's true and what's not. As an audience member, you're also questioning memory. You're also questioning what is real, what is not real, because of the two different timelines. There's a moment when, I can't remember what scene it is, but there's a moment where there's a scene in color and a scene in black and white that are the same, but they're different.
Was it around the Dodd thing? Because
Yeah.
that's where I got the most confused and also had the most aha moment.
Yeah.
With Dodd in the closet in the bathroom and that whole thing happening.
I think you're right. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I remember just that being like, wait a minute, that's the same scene, but it's different. Ooh, what does that mean?
What's the name of the guy that was on his finger that what's his name?
Not Lenny. Was it Lenny?
No, it's the guy who had the condition.
Yeah.
Did that guy exist? Because I know his wife didn't exist, but did that guy exist at all?
I think that was a fabrication of his own condition that he was projecting.
Okay.
So that's a great question. I don't know is the answer. One of the reasons why I keep going back and watching it again to see if there's indications that it is clearly a manufacturing or if it is something that he did really go and investigate and then have the same condition. I don't know the answer. My leaning is that that guy never existed.
That's my leaning as well, but it made it very clear that the guy never had a wife. But I'm wondering if, when he got this condition, did he meet somebody else who had the condition, or did he investigate it as part of his being an insurance investigator? And it's unclear.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of movies that leave a lot of those questions unanswered, sometimes I feel unsatisfied. I did not feel unsatisfied here.
There's enough information at its core, this is an enjoyable movie. Even all the cleverness, all the well-constructed things, it is still a movie that you become invested in and you enjoy the ride of. Even if you don't understand everything that's going on, you're still invested and enjoying the ride and the experience of what you're watching. A lot of times that doesn't happen in movies, particularly ones that try to be clever. You're like, oh, I just see, it's so transparent, you're trying to be clever here, as opposed to me as a viewer having an enjoyable experience.
I agree with that. And I would also say, like, we talked about Silence of the Lambs, where once you know who done it and how they're going to get to who done it, you don't really need to see it again, even though it's a wonderful movie. And this, you know the story, but you gotta watch it several times, I would say.
There are certain points where information is completely telegraphed, sometimes early on, that becomes important later on, but you're not aware that that's going to be important until you watch the entire thing, and then you go back and you're like, oh, that thing from the beginning was so important. And then when you go back and rewatch it, you can see how well crafted it is.
Yes.
And often at times, it's just like, nothing's throwaway, but things are mentioned offhand that become vastly important later on. Again, just all about the construction and all about the writing. So, note to any writers out there, whenever you think you're finished, write one more draft, just one more.
Or maybe more than one more.
Yeah, most likely you're going to need more than one. You've written a book, I've written a book, yours has been published, congratulations.
Thank you.
Mine still needs a couple more drafts.
It's close. It is ready to be published. It's just the publishers.
But yes, ultimately, this is the kind of movie that I really enjoy. I like being lost in something, not knowing, and trying to figure things out. I like by the end knowing what the story was, but still not knowing all the information.
Right.
Those are the kind of movies that I absolutely just love. Something I can go back and rewatch and still get something new every single time.
Agree.
That's why I love this movie.
Yeah, and I can totally understand why.
All right, anything else?
Not a thing.
Memento, go in and then go back, because you will be confused the first time.
It is worth
Guaranteed.
watching twice.
Yes.
Agree.
Thank you.
Bye.